Yeah, if you look at all the other runs, the braking was quite close to the same, and
No. We definitely looked at the various runs that you've had, and you were pretty much on song in terms of the lines you hit all day long.
In the criminal justice system, street racing offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Street Racing Prevention Unit. These are their stories.
Here we go. Here's another day. I got a Mustang right here. Fortunately, there's no crowds for him to run into. And basically, Saturday morning, trying to make all that goddamn noise. Who do you think you are? You ain't no Hellcat. So anyway, Saturday morning, on my way just to get some shopping done. Nothing major. I just need some toothpaste and Sheriff Highway Patrol. So anyway, just need some toothpaste and a couple of just some little basic stuff. And I just felt like getting out of the house. You know, a lot of people don't realize the word itself, quarantine, comes from the Italian word quaranta, and quaranta means 40. And basically quarantine means, you know, they expect you to stay up in your house locked up for 40 days. Now, for most people, they don't want to do that shit because, number one, their jobs aren't going to pay them for that much time out of work. 40 days out of work is a long time, in fairness. And the thing about it is some jobs, they can, you know, they can let you do distance work. And some schools have distance learning where you can work and learn from, you know, from home and everything. Like most of our universities are shut down. Any of the kids who were living on campus were basically told if you can go home, go home. So, you know, quarantine procedures are commencing, and, you know, that's just basically it. There's nothing you can really do. A lot of people are stocking up on food in their houses and everything. And I may try to do that because the thing about it is I usually have canned food, but, you know, you have to really worry about other shit, like what happens if your electricity goes out or what happens if your water stops working. And granted, I've never experienced a water outage unless they were doing construction on the street. And, you know, water usually never goes out, but it's, what is it called? It's usually the electricity that'll go out because this is Long Island. Like when I was living in Queens, I never had a problem. But in Long Island, you got these trees and they can go down, they can knock out a power line and everything. And if that happens, then you're out of electricity. So that means, you know, it's hard to cook because, you know, I have mostly electric appliances where I am. I was thinking about getting that changed to gas, but it all depends because I may buy a third house and I may use this house that I have as a, what is it called, an investment property. But I'm waiting to see what happens with this market because, as you know, refinancing, right now the rates are lower than they've been in a long time. But the thing about it is Trump is busy talking about stimulus and bailouts. So it's very possible that the refinance rates and the cost of a 30-year fixed mortgage or a 15-year fixed mortgage could go down significantly. But all you got to do really is give it time. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of traffic over here. I don't know why, but I'll be sure not to use that direction when I come back. And speaking of traffic, that's also something I wanted to mention. Every single loaner car should have Apple CarPlay. I don't care what radio you've got and how you get it done, but we should all have Apple CarPlay if you have a rental or a loaner. Now, with Apple CarPlay, all you got to do is have an iPhone or an Android phone, and you can use that Apple CarPlay to look at the traffic conditions wherever you're going and to basically do navigation system use. And the one thing I've been learning about this Jeep Cherokee, because I haven't been in one of these Econo boxes like this ugly ass RDX. I haven't been in one of these Econo boxes in a very long time. And now that I've been in one, specifically a Jeep, and you see a lot of Jeep Cherokee because these people love their Jeeps. Now that oh, look at that blue car. There's B5 SRT. Okay. So anyway, now that I've been in an Econo box for some length of time now, what I can say is that, you know, equipment is everything. It's like if you have base equipment and people can, you know, have things like heated seats and navigation and stuff, That's a really, really good thing. That makes the whole experience a lot better. So instead of it being just a boring car, you've actually got a little bit of something in there. And the other important thing is now that this car has the Apple CarPlay, it also has the backup camera. So when you want to, go in reverse, you have a backup camera. So that's good because that helps. Like this person has a Cherokee. So it helps you to not run into shit, and it also helps protect the car, like when you're parking. So this way you don't run into anything. Uh-oh, what's this? Okay, that looked like a black Hellcat, if I'm not mistaken, and an orange Mustang behind him. But, yeah. So, that's the thing. So, I mean, this Cherokee, this is kind of like a long-term multi-day review that I'm splitting up between videos, but it's a nice car. It's unfortunate that this one, only has like cloth seats and shit. And the cloth is not bad or anything. It's just that, it's boring. But my thing is, if you're going to have this cloth seats, you might as well have heated and ventilated seats. But basically, it only has heated. Most cars, cops got somebody. Who'd they get? They got your ass. Look at this. Who'd they get? I got to slow down so I can see who they get. You shouldn't have been speeding, Turkey. If you had a 4-cylinder like I do, you would have been doing low speeds. What were you driving? You driving a fucking Civic and you speeding and shit? You driving a Civic and you speeding? Damn. Driving a Civic and speeding. Tisk, tisk, tisk. And you don't even have those Brembo brakes. So that means that you can't slow down fast enough as soon as the cop sees you. So basically you get a ticket, you dumbass. But that's what you get. You should have had Brembo brakes and you should have bought an SRT product. See, that's what happens. This is why I keep telling you, don't speed if you don't have Brembo brakes. Just don't do it. Like this Camry right here. If you see him speeding, you know you won't be able to stop in time. That's just what it is. Don't speed if you don't have Brembos. Just don't do it. You're setting yourself up. So let's see. Yeah, this car is not that bad, but this is a car built for a small person. It's like this car is not built for tall guys. It's like, it's like sitting in here, honestly, this thing feels like driving around in a go-kart. And granted, it seems to be an okay product. I'm pretty sure that if there were any problems with this car, it probably comes mostly electronic, probably not mechanical. It's probably more linked to the transmissions. But then again, this car doesn't have that turn button transmission. This car has the regular stick forward and back. So I'm pretty sure that anybody who doesn't like this car, they probably don't like it more because of the engine that it has. Like, the engine's slow. And I've been driving around in sport mode. I know by the time I'm finished reviewing this car, it's like I'll definitely talk about the fuel economy, which I'll probably, in fact, I could talk about that just a little bit when I stop in traffic, because I haven't looked at it since I started a fuel economy check. But what it says right now is that I'm getting an average of 19.9 miles per gallon. Now, over what distance? I think the distance that I've driven is 121 miles, but I'll have to check my trip A. Oh, in fact, I can do that right now while I'm still driving, but I'll wait till I get to a light because, I don't want to run into these losers with these goddamn RAV4s. So, in fact, no, I'll do it right now. Why not? No stored messages, stop. Okay, so it says I've driven 108.3 miles, 19.9 miles per gallon. Total driving time is 4 hours, 37 minutes. So that's not bad. So basically, had I probably been not driving so hard with my foot to the floor most of the time, I probably would have done better than 19.9. I might have seen 20 or 22 or something. But that's my point. If you have a small engine in a small car, or you have a small engine in a big car, you force the small engine to work harder. And if the small engine has to work harder, that ultimately means you're going to end up getting worse fuel economy than if you just had a car with an engine that appropriately matches the size of the car. Like this vehicle right here could have had a naturally aspirated or turbocharged V6. But the problem with these turbocharged engines is that when you step on that pedal and you ask for more boost requires more fuel is going to get you lower fuel economy. So you're better off having a naturally aspirated engine with fewer parts, because that'll give you better long-time reliability. It'll also be cheaper to fix than if you have a more sophisticated engine that claims higher efficiency but is forcing you to use premium unleaded. Like, I haven't had to refuel this car yet, and I've driven 109.2 miles. So the thing about it is, when I do have to refuel this car, I get to use regular unleaded. Regular unleaded is obviously going to be cheaper than premium fuel. In fact, I don't know what regular unleaded costs lately because I haven't actually had to use or refuel with regular unleaded since I've always been using premium. But when I do have to refuel this car to give it back to the loaner company, you know, I'm going to have to use regular unleaded. So I'm not really sure how much it is. But so as you can see, it's a pretty nice, calm day. And everybody's, you know, they're just trying to, you know, survive the apocalypse and everything. This is Farmingdale. This is my airport right here where I fly out of. I gotta make another flying video, but you know, the problem with my videos is I use my iPhone for just about everything. And when you see these professionals, when they go flying, they have everything hooked up. Like they have the radio hooked up to the camera and everything, and they have like a really, really well done video. And the guys who actually have their own professional private planes, or you know, they have GoPros and shit set up, it's like you get a better overall quality because they have everything hooked up to everything else. So, you know, I would like, looks like somebody's taxiing right now. Oh yeah, a guy just took off, I see. Some dude just took off, and it looks like this guy taxiing out there. Looks like he's prepared for takeoff. Either that or he just landed. I really can't tell from where I'm sitting. But I would like to make more flying videos, and eventually I guess maybe I will. But it might be a little bit of time. You know, but yeah, so, you know, that's just that. And that video, the one video that I did make, only got like 47,000 views. So it's like, sometimes I feel like making those, you know, side videos, while it's nice to diversify, sometimes it's just not worth it. But especially considering the price, because, you know, the price of flying is, you know, a little bit higher lately. It's like now it's like you're talking about like $200 an hour instead of, it was usually like $150 an hour, but depends also what you're flying too. So I don't know. Eventually I'll make something new. But yeah, this is apocalypse right here. Everything, the world's ending. The world is ending, and the last man to die is gonna have the last of the toilet paper. So here we are on the Long Island Expressway. Cops seem to have stopped somebody right here. I don't know what that's all about, but it looks like he's getting ready to go about his business. So let me just slow, well, I would say slow down, but I don't really have to slow down because I'm already driving relatively slow. So yeah, as you'd expect, sport mode changes the gear characteristics of the car, so it holds some gears longer when you're slowing down, and it allows you to higher rev in specific gears. So I usually like driving around in sport mode rather than automatic. One thing I noticed is the sport mode turns off the stability control, and as soon as you switch to sports mode, the thing goes into, you know, stability's off. I don't know why it bothers to do that. Like, first of all, this is not a track car, and second of all, I can't imagine why anybody would want to drive with stability control off, while I do understand why you'd want to drive with sport mode on. You want to drive with sport mode on so it changes the electric steering characteristics. It makes the steering wheel a little bit lighter. It also makes the throttle response a little bit quicker. But the thing about it is you're still dealing with a slow-ass 2.4 liter, you know, four-cylinder, so the thing is slow. But there's no need for a car like this to have a track mode. Now, track mode, I understand you'd want to be able to turn your stability control off, but there's no reason to want that off while you're driving regularly. There's just no reason. So yeah, they do include a switch down there to turn stability off, which is good, but I don't see why you'd automatically turn it off when you go into sport mode. The thing about it is most people don't even understand all these settings on these cars, and most people are probably not switching the settings when they get into the car. The most they might do is snow mode, but most people probably would be afraid to touch that, especially if they don't understand the technology. You know, so, you know, that's just what it is. And I do appreciate the fact the entire engine has the ability to shut off while you're sitting in traffic, so that this way you don't have to use gas while you're just sitting still. That's a good thing. And I'm also really glad that Dodge is smart enough to give you a start-stop defeat button, which is right here, the one that's marked A with a circle, so that this way, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. Cadillac didn't do that in my mom's XT5, and I'm disappointed in them for that. But then again, that car has a V6, And my guess is they have to keep the engine running as much as possible, and they don't want you just willy-nilly turning it off, especially if they don't have a battery or an alternator that's powerful enough to provide power if you do choose to turn it off and you're sitting in traffic for a long period of time. So they want to be able to keep the air conditioner going. They want to be able to keep the radio and the big head units. They want to be able to keep all that stuff running. Yeah, but that's it. This is life in an Econo box. Life in an Econo box is no life at all. You see, this is what really hurts my heart. Look at how slow and pathetic I am with this Econo box. Meanwhile, this guy's got a goddamn Trackhawk, and he's in there sitting, sipping hot water and drinking his bottled water that he got from the quarantine reliefs. You know, everybody hoarding supplies. This guy's got a big ass Trackhawk. He's a big old white guy, and he's up there sitting pretty, and he's sipping his water and everything. He's got big old yellow brakes, and here I am in a freaking Econo box, and just feeling terrible about life in an Econo box. So this is what it feels like if you're driving a Jeep SRT and everybody else sitting next to you has a damn RAV4. This is now I'm upset. Listen to this guy. He's up there changing lanes. He don't give a fuck about me. He didn't even put on his turn signal. Doesn't give a fuck about me. He's like, yeah, fuck that guy in that little stupid Cherokee. He's like, yeah, when he gets real money, he'll get a bigger car like this big cool SUV with this big ass engine. This guy's up there making fun of me. Look at this guy. This guy's flexing hard. Damn. This guy's flexing hard all over me. He's like, yeah, this poor black kid with some stupid Cherokee. He's like, look at me. I got my water bottle and I'm flexing hard in the Trackhawk. Look at me. Watch this. I'm going HOV lane. I don't give a fuck. Fuck the HOV lane. Look at me. I'm flexing so hard. Ha! Ha 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 ha! And that's pretty much the mentality when you purchase an SRT product. It's like you're flexing on everybody. It's like if you got a Dodge Charger, a Challenger, and somebody's got a Lexus or an Infiniti next to you, you're just flexing all over them. You're just flexing all over them, and there's nothing they can do about it except listening to your exhaust through their laminated glass. So they're trying to have a nice quiet ride in their little 4-cylinder Econo box, and meanwhile you're passing by them and blowing engine notes right through their glass, and there's nothing they can do about it. And they're just laughing at you. They don't even give you any, they don't even use the turn signals, for God's sakes. They don't pay you no mind. They don't care. This guy in the Subaru Crosstrek. You're talking about Econo boxes. Oh my God. Now, right here. Now, most of you badge whores, you don't like Trackhawks. You'd rather have one of these fucking Range Rovers. Now, it says Rover on the brake caliper, but the back brake caliper is cheap and doesn't say it. Meanwhile, at least SRT gives you 2 brake calipers. It says Brembo on both of them. But I guess Land Rover used to be Ford owned, and they just cheaped out on everything. It's like, I'm not into Range Rovers. Like, some of y'all be like, oh yeah, if you got that kind of money, why would you spend it on a Dodge? Why would you spend it on a Jeep product? It's like, because this car is twice as fast as your boring Indian Tata Motors owned piece of shit. You believe this? Here I am at Millennium Town, some freaking truck backed into their wall and shattered their glass right next to this Mustang. But I'm hearing it was a truck. The thing about it is I have my suspicions. Because of the fact there's a Mustang here, it's very possible that this Mustang actually somehow ran into that wall, hit it, and then tried to back off and then lie and say it was a truck. Because, you know, I don't trust these Mustangs. These things are dangerous. If you're an innocent crowd, man, these things will take your fucking legs off. You gotta watch out for these damn things. These things are more dangerous to innocent crowds than the coronavirus. This poor man right here's got to sweep up all his fucking glass. I know you did it, Mustang. I know you did it. I know you did it. You believe this? Here I am at Millennium Town, some freaking truck backed into their wall and shattered their glass right next to this Mustang. But I'm hearing it was a truck. The thing about it is I have my suspicions. Because of the fact there's a Mustang here, it's very possible that this Mustang actually somehow ran into that wall, hit it, and then tried to back off and then lie and say it was a truck. Because, you know, I don't trust these Mustangs. These things are dangerous. If you're an innocent crowd, man, these things will take your fucking legs off. You gotta watch out for these damn things. These things are more dangerous to innocent crowds than the coronavirus. This poor man right here's got to sweep up all his fucking glass. I know you did it, Mustang. I know you did it. I know you did it. That fucking Shelby shit around, man. got a manual too. That looks like it's a problem. Yeah, it's always stock up until you hit a crowd. Fucked up. I just realized something. Here I am making fun of Mustang, and just yesterday, or was it Friday, I bought 500 shares of Ford. So you know what that means? That means that I'm not allowed to make jokes about Ford anymore. You believe that shit? So now, okay, so I've got stock in Tesla, and I've got stock in Ford. So that means that as much as I think that I want to criticize their vehicles because of their shitty interiors and their tendency to hit people, I cannot anymore criticize Ford or Tesla. How about that? So I have to shackle myself. So if you hear me tell any Ford jokes, if you hear me tell any Tesla jokes, please stop me. Don't allow me to do that, because I am now a Ford shareholder and I have a significant stake in the company. And I got 500 shares of Ford, and I bought it. It started going up immediately. I think it was like $90 within the first day, because the Dow rose like 1,900 points. So guess what? That means that I'm not allowed to tell jokes about Ford or Tesla. So now I'm feeling the pain behind that, because if I tell jokes about Ford or Tesla, that would kind of be like undermining myself, wouldn't it? Damn. So I guess as long as I don't own shares in Toyota or Honda, I could talk as much shit about them as I would. So as long as I do not own shares of the company. So that means that now every time I see a Mustang, I have to hold my tongue. That right there kind of hurts my feelings. Now every time I see one of these Teslas with these horrible vegetarian interiors with their quote-unquote vegan leather, it's like now I can't tell those jokes too loud, because I could cause a stock drop. Not good, not good. Damn. But the war is still on between me and these Honda Accords. You hear how this thing revs? If you leave this thing in drive and you put it in sport mode, you hear how this thing is revving? So it's like revving at these higher speeds and everything. See, it doesn't do it exactly like that if it's in auto mode. But I have it in sport mode as a natural thing. Like I always put it in sport mode as soon as I get in. Talking about a underpowered buzzy engine. It's this 2.4 liter. I can only imagine the turbo model must be better, but this thing's fucking horrible. I mean, I'm amazed like people who drive cars like this just don't go to sleep and crash into other people, because it really is that boring. Like I could absolutely imagine crashing into somebody. This guy's got a Durango right here. And the thing about it is, he doesn't have the 392 badges, so I'm guessing this is either a regular 5.7 Hemi or it's a V6 model. But that thing looks badass. In fact, because it's got those two little circle lights, it kind of looks like a Jeep SRT 2018. You know? That's a badass looking Durango. That is a bad looking truck. Imagine when they make the Hellcat. The only downside is, most people who are buying trucks like this, they're not buying the big engines. These guys are, they're buying like the regular ones. So the Jeep SRT is selling better than the Durango SRT. The Durango SRT is not selling that well at all. So that's very unfortunate. See that guy in there who's in the Durango, he saw me videotaping him looking at his car. So he started flossing. And now he's driving away. He saw me, and he just, all of a sudden he's got his arm up on the window like he's ready to pick up some chicks, and he starts stunting all over me because he sees me in this little cheap-ass Cherokee with this fucking 177 on the shit. So he sees me, and he just starts flossing all over me. It's like, what am I supposed to do? It's a loaner. They're doing stuff with my car, and I got a loaner right now. I was like, what are you doing? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't do nothing.